who went to spend some time with their dad as part of their parents' usual custody arrangement. But this scenario was anything but typical. The father, Daniel Porter, never brought them back at the end of the weekend. Porter has since been convicted on kidnapping charges, and he refuses to tell anyone where they are. This was 2 years ago. As you can imagine, their mother, Tina, continues a desperate search to find them and joins us now with the latest. And with her, family friend Mike Hart, who has received about 100 letters from Daniel Porter from prison. Okay, let me start with you, Tina. Can you take me back to June 5th of '04, the last day you saw your kids? In reading this material, I understand he tried to lure you into the woods, and later when cops went in, they found, what was it, an axe and other tools there. You think he was trying to kill you that day?
Well, he said he wanted to get me in the woods to get a bag of money. So later, yeah, I would say he probably had intentions of doing something to me.
All right, an axe and a shovel, and police at least thought he might have intended to hurt you. Now, had there been anything leading up to that pickup date, that moment when he picked up the children, that, at least in hindsight, would put you on notice he was thinking about doing something?
To me, yeah, not to Sam and Lindsey. The January prior to that, he held me at gunpoint.
And he actually was placed on probation for that, right?
Yes, he was.
Okay. All right, so he takes the kids. At what point did he call you and basically threaten to hurt himself and the children?
It wasn't until midnight Saturday night, and he sent me a text message and told me where to go to pick up a card. And the card basically said that he was going to kill himself, and in 2 weeks when the phone call stopped and the people stopped coming by, he'd let Sam and Lindsey come home.
Okay. At that point in time, I'm sure you were in an absolute terrified panic. Is that when you called police?
Oh, my God. Yeah, I went to the hotel where Dan said he was at with the kids.
Yeah.
And there was no sign of him. And then I went straight from there to the police department at 5 o'clock in the morning.
All right. And how did police react?
Oh, they didn't. They blew it off.
Well, we've heard this story before. It's terrifying to hear this, but what, they thought it was a family spat and he'd show back up with the kids?
That's what they thought. Even though they read the card, they just thought it was, well, he's going to bring him home. So then, later on, do you mind me telling this?
No, no.
So then he, sorry, Mike. So then the police read text messages that says he's going to kill himself. They hear him on the phone saying he's going to kill himself, but they still don't issue the Amber Alert. So I don't know what happened. They just, then they picked him up on a Monday and they let him go, so he could terrorize me for another 3 days before they picked him up again.
All right, when they picked him up the first time, what explanation did he give? They didn't demand to see the kids. What did he tell them?
He said the kids are with me. So they called me at 2:30 in the morning and they said, Tina, do you have the kids? And I said, no. And I said, Dan has them. And they said, well, you broke the order of ex parte. And I said, I know you didn't call me to tell me that. Click, hung the phone up on him. Okay. So then they let Dan go.
All right, now, we also heard that he gave people different stories. Basically, to you, that he was going to hurt you by taking the kids. To his boss, yes, some comment about, no way my kids are going to grow up the way I did. And from that, do you believe he has harmed, even killed the kids? No.
No, I do not. I personally made a trip to Arkansas twice because that's where I believe they're at. I believe they're in the state of Arkansas.
Why is that?
Dan's got a mom that's down there.
Yeah.
But he also, Lindsey and Sam made reference to their friends before they left that they were going to go to Arkansas with their dad for 2 weeks. That was right, he took them the day after school. And whenever he told them that, Lindsey and Sam told their friends that, it was right after school. Right before school got out, I mean. So I believe they're in Arkansas.
All right, I am sure, and you tell me, but have the Arkansas authorities combed his mother's home, gone through any friends, relatives he might have there? What do they think happened to the children?
Well, let's see. In the state of Missouri, Independence, my police department, Independence, has to ask the FBI to join in. And Independence offered their assistance, the FBI offered their assistance, and Independence said no. So no, it hasn't happened.
So the Arkansas authorities aren't on this case?
No.
Okay, I understand when they finally picked him up, they picked him up in Trenton, Missouri, which was where he grew up. They found some of the children's clothes in the woods?
They found Lindsey's T-shirt in the woods.
Okay.
And they didn't find it. It was a family friend that found it. Actually, it was Lindsey's best friend that found the T-shirt.
All right, and we're seeing a picture here of the dogs searching. Obviously, they would have taken that as a scent item and searched the woods. Nothing?
No, they didn't find anything.
All right, and what about your ex-husband? What, if anything, has he told anyone, including throughout his trial for kidnapping?
Would you like to answer that, Mike?
He's told me that the kids are alive, that he's keeping them from Tina because she was a bad mother. In his eyes, she was a bad mother, and that there was some wealthy family somewhere, isolated, where nobody knows who they are, and that's about it. He gave me an offer for Tina. He sent me a letter. It was an offer for Tina to read a statement to the media, telling the media that she was a horrible mother and that he was a good father and it was all Tina's fault that he's in prison. And he said that if she would do that, that he would bring the kids home. And as soon as she agreed to do that, he upped the ante and said he wanted an additional $40,000 from his 401k that had been spent on attorney fees and other expenses, and just made it impossible to meet his demands. So to me, all his intention, all he wants to do is terrorize Tina and keep the kids away from her until they're grown.
All right, and Mike, are you convinced that the kids are alive as well?
Yes, I believe the kids are alive. I do. I don't believe Dan would kill his children. I just don't believe that.
I don't either.
All right, well, the rumor that he may have sold them to someone doesn't sort of make sense if he's trying to, you know, beg for $40,000. Have you attempted to meet?
None of it makes sense, madam. That's Dan's whole point, is to throw everybody off of track. That's the reason he told so many different stories, is to get us all, to keep us all confused, to make us all fight amongst each other so that we can't make any progress on locating Sam and Lindsey.
All right, and what are you trying to do to put pressure on the local authorities to bring in more expertise?
My God, we've done everything we can do. What more can we do? We've talked to senators, representatives, we've talked to law enforcement personally, we've had other people speak on our behalfs to the law enforcement, to the FBI, to the local police, and, you know, we get nowhere. I mean, we do get some help, you know, from the senators. Say, for example, Charlie Wheeler. Senator Charlie Wheeler gave us a large amount of help, you know, but he can only go so far. He can only give us these people, and he can only put a certain amount of pressure on people. Yeah. It's going to be the Independence Police Department is going to have to take the initiative and step up and do their jobs.
And help me find Sam and Lindsey.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Well, they think that they're gone. They think that Sam and Lindsey is no longer with us because of whatever reasons they haven't told me. I don't. I believe they're still out there, and I just need to get them home. And I need everybody's help to help me get them home. All
right. Well, we will get the information up, contact information up as well. We've got pictures aging them the 2 years, and please keep us posted on this. Tina Porter, Mike Hart, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Coming up next.